In Lesson 32, I will be discuss some brief forms and brief form derivatives, word ending choir, sound of NG and NK. Brief forms. Suggest. S-U-G for suggest. Satisfied. S-A-T-I-S for satisfy. Include. Disjoint I and D. Short. Ish and T. Worked. W-O it for worked. Progress. P-R-G for progress. Experience. E-S-P for experience. Under. Over. U. Brief forms derivatives. Suggested. S-U-G-D. Suggested. Suggestion. S-U-G-tion. Suggestion. And next, satisfied. S-A-T-I-S-D for satisfied. Includes. Disjoint I and D-S for includes. Next, included. Disjoint I and D for included. Inclusion. Disjoint I and shon. Shortage. Ish, T, J for shortage. Shortly. Ish, T, Li for shortly. Worthless. W-U it L-E-S for worthless. Worthwhile. W-U it and I for worthwhile. Progress. P-R-G and D for progress. Progressive. P-R-G and V for progressive. Underneath. Over U and N-E it. Understand. Over U and S stand D for understand. Word ending choir is represented by K and I symbol. So we have a choir, A and choir, inquire, in choir for inquire, inquires, in choir and S for inquires, inquiry, in query and E. E is written on the inside of choir. So we have inquired, in, choir, and D for inquired. Next we have require. R-E choir for require. Requires. R-E choir S for requires. Next, required. R-E choir and D for required. Requirements. R choir M-S for requirements. 1. One of the requirements for writing shorthand is to have a good pen and period. Next, number 2. Each student in our school is required to take 2 years of history and period. Number 3. Most things of value are not easy to acquire. And period. Next, number 4. Please send your job inquiry to our personnel office. And period. Please send your job inquiry to our personnel office. Number 5. Our personnel office will be glad to describe our job requirements and period. Our personnel office will be glad to describe our job requirements and period. Next, we have sound of NG. Sound of NG is represented by downward slanting stroke the size of N. So we have single, S-I, ing, and L for single, long, L and ing for long, longer, L, ing, R for longer. Next, belong, B-L and ing for belong. Spring, S-P-R-I, ing for spring. Next, bring, B-R-I, ing for bring. Next, strong, S-T-R, ing for strong, stronger, S-T-R and ing and R for stronger. Next, we have sound of NK. NK is represented by downward slanting stroke the size of M. Let's start with sink. S-I, ink. Next, rank, R-A, ink for rank. Next, frank, F-R-A, ink for frank. Frankly, F-R-A, ink, Lee for frankly. Franklin, F-R-A, ink, and L-I-N for Franklin, and capitalize. Next, we have bank, B-A, ink for bank. Banker, B-A, ink, and R for bunker. Next, we have blank, B-L-A, and ink for blank. Next, we have ink, I and ink for ink. Next, we have uncle, U, ink, and L for uncle. Next, Lincoln, L, I, ink, and N for Lincoln, and capitalize. Next, let's try NG and NK practice. Number 1. Frank is one of the youngest people to be hired by the bank. Period. Frank is one of the youngest people to be hired by the bank. And period. Number 2. Here is a form semicolon. Be sure to fill in the blanks in ink and period. Here is a form semicolon. Be sure to fill in the blanks in ink. Number 3. Mr. Lincoln, capitalize, will bring the blank forms, period. Mr. Lincoln will bring the blank forms, period. Number 4. We are anxious to have you bring in your old bank certificate. We are anxious to have you bring in your old bank certificate and period. And last, number 5, our organization will be hold a meeting sometime this spring at the Franklin Center, capitalize and period. Our organizer will be hold a meeting sometime this spring at the Franklin Center, period. In lesson 33, I will be discuss word ending "shon" and "ation" and word ending "hood", also the sound of "ul". Word ending "shon" and "ation" is represented by "shon". We have condition, condition for condition, conditions, condition s, conditions, conditional, condition and l for conditional, and addition, addition for addition. Next, additional, addition and l for additional. Next, we have addition, edition. Next, invitation. Invitation for invitation. Station. Station for station. Next, stationed. Station and D for stationed. Next, presentation. Presentation for presentation. Next, we have admission. Admission for admission. Next, permission. Permission for permission. Next, information. Information. Next, accommodation. Accommodation for accommodation. Next, repetition. Repetition for repetition. Next, we have word ending hood. Word ending hood is represented by disjoint D. We have neighborhood. NIBR and disjoint D for hood. Neighborhood. Next, neighborhoods. NIBR DS for neighborhoods. Next, we have boyhood. BOY and disjoint D. Boyhood. Next, likelihood. LIK and Lee. And disjoint D for likelihood. Next, we have childhood. Chai and I, L and D. Childhood. Next, girlhood. GRL and D. Girlhood. Next, motherhood. MO8 disjoint D for motherhood. Next, fatherhood. FATR and hood. Fatherhood. Sounds of all. Sound of all is represented by O symbol. We have result. RSUT for result. Next, results. RSUTS for results. Next, resulted. RSU and TED for resulted. Next, consult. KSUT for consult. Next, consulting. KSUTing for consulting. Next, we have insult. INSUT. Insult. Next, adult. ADUT. Adult. Next, adulthood. ADUT and disjoint D for adulthood. Next, multiply. MUTP and LI for multiply.
34. So, lesson 34, we're going to discuss about 8 brief forms. Then we also discuss about brief form derivatives. Then also we are also discuss about automated symbol sound of and Then we're also going to discuss about words ending with titude and titude. So, let's keep on watching po. So, for the brief forms, we have quantity. We have quantity. So how do we write quantity in steno? We have quantity. That's how you write quantity. So for our second, we have appropriate. Appropriate. So this is how we write appropriate in steno. That's how we write appropriate. For the third brief form, we have to write executive. So executive. Executive. How do we write executive? We have executive. That is executive. For the fourth, we have wish. 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 This is how we write in steno. Wish. Wish. That's wish. So for the fifth, we have object. Object. So how do we write object in steno? We have the object. That's how we write object. Then for the sixth, we have subject. Subject. How do we write in steno subject? This is subject. That's how we write subject. Then for the seventh, we have particular. Particular. So how do we write particular in a shorthand? We have particular. That's how we write particular in steno. Then for the last, we have brief form program. So program. So how do we write program in steno? We have this. Program. That's how it's program. So here, brief form, we have quantity, then appropriate, then in executive, we have executive, wish, that's wish, object, then subject, then particular, we have particular, then program. Then we have brief form derivatives. So we have brief form derivatives. So for the first, we have quantities. Quantities. So how do we write quantities in shorthand? We have this. Quantities. We have quantities. Then for the second, we have appropriately. So appropriately. We have appropriately. How do we write appropriately in steno? We have appropriately. That's how we write appropriately. Then for the third, we have appropriation. We have appropriation. So how do we write appropriation in steno? We have appropriation. We have appropriation. Then for the fourth, we have executive. Executives. Executives. How do we write executives in steno? Executive. That's executive in shorthand or in a steno. Then we have wishes. We have wishes. So how do we write wishes in steno? We have wishes. Wishes. Then for the fifth, we have wished. We have wished. So how do we write wish in steno? We have to wish. Ed. Ed. That's how. Number 6, we have wishful. So, wishful. Wishful. So, how do we write wishful in steno? We have to write wishful. Wishful. So, objects. For the number 7, we have object. So, object. How do we write object in steno? We have object. That's how we write object in steno. With S, I mean. Sorry. Objects. So, for the number 9, we have objected. We have objected. So, objected. How do we write objected in steno? We have objected. We have objected. That's how we write in steno objected. So, for the last, we have objection. So, how do we write objection in steno? We have, for the upper, objection. Objection. So, for the brief form derivatives, we have quantities, appropriately, appropriation, we have appropriation, executive, we have executive, wishes, we have wishes, wished, we have wished, then wishful, we have wishful, then objects with S, objects, then objected, we have objected, then for the last we have objection, we have objection. Lesson 34, so we're going to discuss about ort. The R sound is omitted in the sound ort. So, let's go. We have first word, we have report. We have report. So, how do we write report in steno? We have report. So, for the second, we have export. How do we write export in steno? We have export. That's export. So, for number 3, we have quart. How do we write quart in steno? We have quart. Then, with the underline. Then, quarterly. For the number 4, we have quarterly. We have quarterly. Quarterly. How do we write quarterly in steno? We have this. Quarterly. With underline. Then, number 5, we have sort. How do we write sort in steno? We have to write this, like this. Sort. That's how we write sort in steno.
Number 6, we have portable. So, how do we write?
Portable in steno? We have to write this. Portable. That is portable. So, we're going to discuss again. Ort. The R sound is omitted in the sound ort. So, this is the word that have ort. We have report. This is how we write report in steno. Report. We have export. Export. Then quart. We have quart. Quarterly. We have quarterly with underline in the middle. Then sort. Then portable. We have portable. So, that's how. So, number 3 principle are omitted in earn and earn. So, we're going to discuss about it. So, this is the word who have an earn or earn. So, first we have turn. So, how do we write turn in steno or shorthand? So, we have turn. We write like this. It's turn. That is turn in steno. Number 2, we have return. Return. So, how do we write return in steno? We write like this. Turn. Turn. That is turn in steno. Then we have western. Western. So, how do we write western in steno word? To write western. Western. So, for the number 4, we have term. 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 We have term. So, how do we write term in steno? We have to write like this. It's term. Term. So for the number 5, we have term with ed, term. So termed. How do we write term in steno? Have to write like this. It's term. That is how you write term in steno. We have term. We have determine. Determine with ed. Determine. So we have So how do we write determine in steno? We have to write like this. Determine. That is determine in steno. For the number 7, we have southern. Southern. How do we write southern in steno? We have to write southern. Southern. For the number 8, we have thermometer. I mean, this is earned in southern. So, we have thermometer. Thermometer. How do we write thermometer in steno? We have to write thermometer. Thermometer. That is thermometer in steno. So, let's discuss again. We have R omitted in earn in erm. So, first word we have turn. This is how we write turn. Turn. Then return. Return. So, we have number 3, western. Western. For the number 4, we have term. ERM, we have erm. So, term. Then for the 5th word, we have termed with ed. So, this is the erm. Did you see erm? Then, how do you write erm? Ermed with ed. Then, determine with ed again with erm word. So, determine. So, for the number 7, we have southern. So, this is how you write southern instead of word. Southern. Then, thermometer. This is how we write thermometer instead of thermometer. Then, we have erm. Principle of lesson 34, we have MD or word with have an MD. So how do we write MD? This is how we write MD in steno. Have to write like this. Simple as that. So what are the words who have an MD in words? So we have first theme, claim. We also have name. We have seemed. So we have MD, M in this word. We also have confirm. And for the last, we have frame. So how do we write all of this in steno? So first, tame. How do we write tame in steno? We have to write like this, tame, upper. Tame. That is tame in steno. For the second, we have claimed. We have claim. That is how you write claim in steno. So for the name, name, we have to write like this. Name. That is how you write name in steno. Then for the sim. That is sim in steno. Confirm. Let's go to confirm. We have to write this in steno. Confirm. That is confirm in steno. Let's go to the last. We have frame. So frame. How do we write frame in steno? We have to frame. That is frame in steno. So for the fifth principle of lesson 34, we have MP. So let's go into discuss about the word. We have MP. First word is prompt. How do we write prompt in steno? You have to write like this. Prompt. With upper lower part. That's prompt. Then second, we have promptly. Promptly. So this is how you write promptly in steno. Promptly. You have to write promptly like that. Then for the last, we have empty. Empty. So how do you write empty in steno? You have to write like this. Empty. That's how you write empty in steno. So again, we're going to discuss about it. So for the fifth principle of lesson 34, we have empty. We have prompt. This is how you write prompt and steno. Prompt, then promptly, promptly. The last, you have empty. This is how you write empty and steno. Empty. For the sixth principle, we have attitude, attitude, words. So how do we write attitude and attitude? This is how you write attitude and attitude in steno. That's how you write attitude and or attitude. So first we have institute. How do you write institute and steno? So you have to write like this. Institute. That's how you write institute and steno. Second, we have instituted. Instituted. So how do you write instituted in steno? You have to write like this. Instituted. You have instituted and steno. Third, we have institution. So how do you write institution? So how do you write institution in steno? You have to write like this. Institution. Institution. That is institution. So for the fourth, we have institute. Constitute. How do you write constitute? You have to write like constitute. Fourth, we have constitution. So how do we write constitution? Constitution. How do we write constitution in steno word? We have to write like this. Constitution. Constitution. So for the sixth, we have gratitude. Gratitude. So how do we write gratitude in steno? We have to write like gratitude. Gratitude. That is gratitude in steno. So for the seventh, we have aptitude. Aptitude. How do we write aptitude in steno? Have aptitude. That is aptitude in steno. So for the seventh, we have attitude. So attitude. How do you write steno attitude? We have to write attitude. Attitude. That is attitude in steno. For the last, we have attitudes. Attitudes. So this is how you write attitude in steno. Attitude. Attitude. So we're going to discuss again. We have attitude word. This is how you write attitude and attitude word in steno. Attitude. That's so we have this the word who have attitude and attitude. We have institute. That is how you write institute in steno. Instituted. Institution. We have institution. Constitute. Then constitution. We have for the number 6 we have gratitude. 7 we have aptitude. Then second to the last we have attitude. Then for the last we have attitudes with S. We have aptitudes. This is the with S.
Lesson 35, we discuss about minor vowel omitted, word beginnings a and ow, word ending ingly, and also we will discuss about differentiating between principal and principal.
Lesson 35. Lesson 35, when two vowels occur together, such as the E, as sounds in previous, the minor vowel may be omitted. We have here the minor vowel omitted words. So we have 5 words. We have previous, previously, various, serious, and also the seriously. So how do we write these two steno word? So previous to, this is how we write the steno word of this previous. That is the steno word of previous. So for the second we have previously. So previously. That is how we write previously. So for the third we have various. various. That is various. Then for the serious, we have serious. That is serious. And for the last, we have seriously. This is how we write seriously in steno words. Seriously. So previously, we have various, serious, and seriously. For minor vowel omitted words, we also have period. How do we write this in steno? We write this as like this. Period. That's how we write period in steno. Then second, we have genuine. Genuine. How do we write genuine in steno? Genuine. That is genuine. Then for theory, we have theory. Theory. For situated, how do we write this in steno? We write this as situated. Situated. Then for situation, we write this as like this. Situation. So for the last two, we have continue. How do we write continue in steno? We have continue. Continue. And for our last, we have continuous. How do we write continuous? We write continuous. Continuous. So we have period, genuine, theory, situated, situation, continuous, and we have continuous.
Word beginnings a and ow. So, in the word beginnings a and ow, the sound of a is represented by a dot.
So for the ow words, we have first ahead. How do we write ahead in steno? So first we have to write this, then two dots. That is ahead. So how do we write away? Away. That is away. Awake. This is how we write awake in steno. How about awaken? Awaken with that. Awaken. Then we have await. Await. How do we write await in steno? This is how you write await. For awaits, for number 6, we have awaits. So this is how we write awaits in steno. So for the number 7, we have we have aware. 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 For the number 7, we have award. How do we write award in steno? We have like this. That is award. Awards. How do we write awards? That is how we write awards. For the last, we have aware. How do we write aware in steno? We have period, then aware. That is how do we write aware. So, this is ahead, away, then this is also awake, awaken, awaits, award, then this is also aware, and for the last, we also for aware. So still in lesson 35, we have word ending ingly. So the word ending ingly, as in knowingly, is represented by a disjointly circle. So for example, we have knowingly. This is how we write steno in knowingly. So knowingly. That is how we write knowingly in steno. So here are the word who have ingly words. So knowingly, we have ingly. About willingly, we have ingly. Increasingly, exceedingly, we have I. Then interesting, we have ingly again. Then for the last, we have convincingly, we have ing and nle. So knowingly, how do we write this in steno? So we have to knowingly. Then willingly, we write this as willingly. So increasingly, we have increasingly. Increasingly. For exceedingly, we have exceedingly. Exceedingly. Then for interestingly, we have interestingly. We have interestingly. Then for the last, we have convincingly. Convincingly. We have convincingly. So we have knowingly, willingly, and increasingly, then exceedingly, interestingly, then we also have convincingly.